People think tokenization is about NFTs, profile pictures, speculation, or even digital collectibles. But that misunderstanding hides something far bigger, which is that tokenization is not about images. It's about rewriting how ownership itself works. Because for the first time in human history, anything of value can exist as a programmable digital asset. Not just crypto tokens, not just digital art, but also real estate, stocks, bonds, vehicles, loyalty points, as well as identity credentials. Even intellectual property and revenue streams, as well as energy credits and ownership of physical goods. And this shift isn't theoretical. It isn't futuristic either. It's already happening, quietly, globally, and at scale. And the world that emerges from it will not resemble the one we live in today. This is Unblocked Money, the series where we decode the new financial world with clarity and precision. When you hear about tokenization, you have to know that it is one of the largest transformations that are taking place behind the scenes of the global economy. Most people don't see it because it doesn't arrive as headlines, but it arrives as infrastructure. So, to understand tokenization, you first need to confront an uncomfortable truth, which is that most assets today are frozen inside systems that were never actually designed for a digital world. That's right. Take a look. Paper registries, manual reconciliation, layers of intermediaries, jurisdictional silos, or slow settlement. Try buying property across borders. Try transferring shares between platforms. Try moving ownership of a vehicle at scale. Try dividing ownership legally, transparently, globally. The friction isn't accidental. These systems were built decades ago, long before the internet. And tokenization has come to fix this at the root. It turns assets into digital objects. Objects that can move, update, settle, and interact natively inside software systems. But the power is not the digital file. The power is the rules encoded inside it. You see, a token can represent ownership, it can enforce transfer conditions, it can automate revenue sharing, it can even settle instantly, and can divide itself into fractions. But it can also be locked, unlocked, collateralized, or even combined with other assets. And all of this automatically. This is not digital money. This is programmable value. And once value becomes programmable, well, markets themselves begin to change. To see how real this already is, let's look at where tokenization is gaining traction first. And I know, you could think that it is in art or in collectibles, but it's actually in the most conservative assets on Earth. U.S. government debt. Yes, tokenized U.S. treasuries have become one of the fastest growing on-chain asset categories. BlackRock's on-chain treasury funds are attracting billions in demand. Franklin Templeton's tokenized funds settle instantly across networks, not because it's fashionable, but because institutions want speed, transparency, and 24-hour settlement. This is legacy finance quietly moving on-chain simply. And real estate is next. That's right. In cities like Dubai, Singapore, Berlin, and Tokyo, developers are tokenizing buildings. Ownership can be divided into small units, allowing participation with hundreds, if not millions of dollars. Liquidity enters a market that was historically locked for decades, and credit and invoices are following. Small businesses tokenize receivables and receive capital instantly instead of waiting months for payment. And settlement speed also shifts it from weeks to minutes. And you know energy markets are changing as well. Carbon credits are being also tokenized to create transparent, auditable supply. Energy production itself, solar panels, grids, renewable projects is becoming tokenized and financeable directly. Loyalty systems are also evolving. Airline miles and reward points are being explored as transferable, programmable tokens. Points become assets. And finally, we've also got identity. Yes, universities, employers, and institutions are issuing credentials as verifiable tokens, portable, tamper-resistant, and globally readable. Identity becomes native to the digital world, and this is not a niche trend. It is actually the blueprint for future markets. Now, before we continue, if this episode is giving you real clarity, take 1 second to like this video. It helps the channel grow and lets me keep producing content at this level. Now look at who is building this infrastructure. Among them, we have the usual BlackRock, JP Morgan, Fidelity, Citi, including regulators in Singapore, the European Union, the UAE, and Hong Kong, as well as many others. All developing tokenization frameworks, all running on-chain settlement pilots, all restructuring markets to operate natively on blockchain rails. And the reason is simple. Tokenization removes the largest inefficiencies in global finance. That's right. Settlement risk shrinks, counterparty risk declines, operational overhead collapses, audits become continuous, transparency becomes immediate, and with efficiency obviously comes leverage. You see, governments see tokenization as the foundation of future compliance, but also taxation and regulation. Institutions on their side see it as infrastructure that unlocks global markets overnight. And individuals on their side see something else, which is access. Yes, access to assets that were previously unreachable. You see, tokenization changes who can own, who can invest, who can participate, and who controls economic mobility. And for the first time, ownership becomes divisible, portable, and global by default. A fraction of a building, a share of a fund, a slice of infrastructure, or a percentage of future revenue. But this transformation raises hard questions. When everything becomes tokenized, does everything become financialized? Does broader access empower individuals, or does it blur the boundary between daily life and markets? Well, this is the debate of the next decade, and understanding the mechanics now puts you ahead of it. If this episode brought you clarity, subscribe. The next one is essential. And let me know in the comments, do you think tokenization democratizes ownership or risks turning everything into an investment product? The next episode will address why crypto markets are cyclical, covering the halving, the hype, and the crashes.